Okay, our next question is how should I manage the human participation aspect of my research? Love more.
Right. This is probably one of the most important part of doing a dissertation, and the participation part of it also links to many aspects that are included in the ethics approval. For example, you need to know the kind of participants that you're going to interact with or use. And indeed, in order to do that, they have to agree to take part in your study. And for those people that have looked at the ethics form, there are a series of questions that try to ensure that the researcher is aware of using or what it means to use human participants. And the ethics process itself is there to protect people from misuse, sometimes, of science. And therefore, one of the first questions, if you're looking at BPS, ethics question form, was informed consent. And by that, what they mean is people have to give you informed consent, which is really about telling them the truth about what it is you're trying to study, and at the same time, not giving away the answers or the game away, as it were. So there's a kind of honesty that's required, a kind of integrity. So in terms of participants, you already begin to see who you're likely to use, and you have to define the people that you want to use, approach them, explain to them, and then they agree to take part. And then you have to have thought about how you collect data from them. If it's a questionnaire, for example, you have to actually tell them that you're going to use a questionnaire. Not necessarily the details or the title, but they need to know, because one of the bases for agreeing is knowing how much time is demanded of them. And also they need to be reassured how you're going to use your data when you have finished. So all those things are to do with managing your participants and forming a kind of relationship with them. And once you've done that, you can then find strategic points at which you interact with them. If it's a laboratory study, then you have to give them dates and times and where to report. And in some areas, they give them some kind of incentives. At uni here, we use what we call participation points, which basically means if you're in year 3, you are allowed to use year 1s in psychology to do your study. But in order for you to use year 1s, you need to have participated when you were year 1 yourself. It's a very clever way. That is because we're also trying to minimize the number of people that might, for example, go into town to ask people when actually all they're trying to do is to learn how to carry out research, and therefore that could be done in-house. And we've organized it such that it is facilitated that way. And when you do your ethics proposal and you look at all the questions, it really gives you a lot of the things you need to know about how to manage your participants and how to interact with them.